Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Welcome to another portrait drawing live stream here. Let me just make sure that I've got my sound going. I am so not ready for this today. Yes. I am so not ready for this. I am so distracted with other things going on. I haven't drawn anything since last week, so you're going to see me struggle today. Absolutely, you're going to see me struggle. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky today and it'll be an easy day. But let me just get my photo reference going over here. And actually, let me make it so my iPad doesn't shut off. Okay, and we're going to do a quick little warm up in 1 second. Yeah, oh my God. All right, I didn't even have breakfast today, like nothing. So I think I might have screwed myself. Okay, let's make it so. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so you're here to learn how to draw. So let's do that. Now, it would be really helpful if I actually put on my glasses for this computer. And I'm going to get a little scrap piece of paper and put this down, and we're going to do a quick little warm-up here. Okie dokie. Let's do this. So let's go check out the portrait. Now, this is the... this is a full figure drawing photo from Graphit Studio, and I bought their photo pack, and so it's a really good high resolution full figure. Hey Joseph, welcome, and hi Angelia. So I crop it because whenever I do like a figure drawing thing here on YouTube, like I just good morning, Poisoned Violet. Yeah, you got it, Bob. Thank you for joining us. Whenever I do YouTube, like they demonetize the video. Not that I make much money anyway from like monetizing the video. Like it's minimal. It's absolutely minimal. But yeah, it just I don't think like it pushes the video out as much when I do a full figure, even though that's what I really enjoy doing. But these are such good full figure photos, so I just crop them in because their resolution is like so high, and it's pretty good. Now, this photo, I love this model. This is a great model, but I wanted to do something a little bit more difficult here today, and I probably bit off more than I can chew in this short live stream. But this photo, when you have a front view like this, I always find it's like a little bit more difficult than say a 3/4. All right. With that being said, let's draw. So let me get another piece of tape here. Just tape down this scrap piece of paper, and oh, I see. All right. This needs. I need to zoom out. I'm pretty zoomed in here. A little bit better. Okay. Do this with me, people. Do this with me. We're gonna just draw an oval. Let's draw another oval. Let's not lift our pencil off of the paper. Let's draw another oval. Let's draw another oval. Okay, so I just lifted my pencil off the paper. So normally I am a little bit looser, so this is a really important warm-up for me. So I'm going to just do a little one. Again, I'm trying my very best. I lifted my pencil off the paper again. Normally I don't do that. My forearm is like screaming at me today. I've got my little Incrediwear forearm brace on. So yeah, we're going to see how this is going to go today. All right, so we've got a couple of like little ovals there, very positive, and then I'll just draw a quick torso peanut shape like that. Maybe what I'll also do, because I always do this, is I'll draw a shape. I'll try to draw the same shape again. So right now my brain is extremely distracted, so this is going to be a very good portrait drawing session for me to get a little bit more refocused. Yesterday was our first warm day in multiple months, and I think it got almost like late 60s, like 69. I was in my car and it said 73, but yeah, I'm gonna say it was late 60s. That was just engine heat. So let's just do one more of these. And let's try to mimic that shape. So you're looking at this shape kind of out of your side view, your peripheral vision as you're drawing the new shape. That's not too bad. I'll take that all day long as like my warm up. Those shapes, they're not 100% identical, but they're very, very close. So, and we can do one more oval here, and the practicality of doing some like ellipses around our oval. And let's just do some vertical ellipses as well. So that's a decent warm up. So now what I would like to do is get the piece of paper that I'm going to draw on here today. And what I like to do is I always like to label the front of the piece of paper because this Strathmore 400 series paper, the back of it is horrendous. And I've drawn on the back of the sheet of paper, and it just has a complete different tooth to it. And okay, so I think I'm going to move my paper over to the right. I know this is so exciting for you all on YouTube. It's so exciting. Isn't this like must-see TV? All right, let me just kind of get my center. Good. And is it level? It's close enough. Okay, just an informal portrait drawing here today. Let me get a little piece of tape and a little bit more tape, and we're gonna draw this gal. We're gonna draw this gal, or at least we're gonna try. Okay, that's gonna be the goal. Now, why am I doing these live streams? I'm doing these live streams. I'm a little selfish. I'm doing it for me and for you. So I need the practice. It doesn't matter how many years you've been a professional artist or just an amateur artist, you still need to practice. And so I'm doing this for practice, and I'm doing this for fun, and I'm doing this to help you. So those are 3 reasons why I'm doing these live streams. Okay. There's more reasons than that, but those are the 3 basics. Okie dokie. Am I wearing the right glasses? So the first thing when I draw a portrait that I like to do is I like to get a sense of, okay, if this is the top of our model's hair, I'm going to put it like right there. Now I'm going to have to move me because I'm already in the way here. So let me do that. Okay. So if that's going to be where the top of our model, tippy top, so I'll angle down a little bit, and let's see. I'm fairly zoomed in. So the top of this model's hair is angled like that. And then that's our little apex there, and we've got another angle there. Okay. So let's see here. Hey, King's Low Fitness, Pearl Goddess. How is my, talk to me, people, my audio right now? Please make audio clear. Angelia, how is the audio? Is it the way that it always is? Is Pearl Goddess just noticing when my voice trails away from the mic and then when I'm trailed back in? Is that what it is? Talk to me, people. Okay, so it's fluctuating when you move your face. Okay, so basically I need to keep my mouth a little. So this is the hazard of having a studio with pets and kids, older kids. Okay, Joseph, thank you. Crisp. So I just, this microphone, thank you, Angelia. This microphone is perfect if you have a house that is extremely noisy because it picks up none of the hallway noise. With dogs barking when Amazon delivers a package. Yeah, but I need to keep my mouth fairly close to the mic. So what I'm doing here, everybody, is I'm basically doing this right here. I am doing the angles technique. Now, the other way that we can say angles technique is the bark plates. Okay. So, yes, this is what I'm doing first. And I'm seeing the angles okay. And so I'm also right now placing. Like I'm trying now, I'm trying my very best to place the head in the middle of this sheet of paper. And so I'm doing two things at once. I'm trying to get accurate angles for the hair, and I'm also placing the hair in on this piece of paper. So I'm happy with it. Now we're going to go down to the ear, and I'm doing what is called um, macro angles, big angles. I'm not getting into all of the nuances, and hopefully this is going to work for me. So now we've got the other ear, and her head is tilted. So there's a tilt, everybody. Okay. So the bottom of this ear is a little bit higher than the bottom of this ear because we want to get this model's tilt. Now, it's not an extreme tilt, it's subtle. So now we've got the jawbone. Jawbone. Now, all this feels a little long for me, but I'm not going to judge it yet. Jawbone, jawbone. Now, when it shifts to the next angle, that needs to tilt. So the head's tilted, the ears are tilted in the same manner. Okay. So now I'm going to come down with the angled portion of the model's jaw, and then that would be the chin. So, yeah, that looks weird, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a cardboard cutout of the model. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on down and get the angle of our model's neck. And over here, I'm going to get the other side of the neck. Now, this, for some people, including me at certain times, could be very hard to do these like exact outlines. But this, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? It's 10:13. We're on YouTube. We're drawing a portrait. It's just practicing. It's just practice. Nothing more, nothing less. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, what's right below the model's left side of their hair? And I'm going to hold my pencil to my iPad, and I'm looking at the negative space. So this should be a perfect vertical. And so this is telling me that I'm going to push our model's hair out a little bit more. So I'm going to adjust this angle. So that's my first vertical measure line. Okay, so pushing that out helped immensely. And what about the other side, pushing that out? Maybe I can push that out a little bit as well. Okay, so how long did we spend on that? Well, less than 5 minutes. I'm really doing a lot of talking. Now, the next step that I like to do, now I should be a little anal here because I want to make sure that I get this angle of the hair. This is distracting me, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Now, next step. Now, notice, people, I did draw the lines for the jaw, but I didn't draw them really super duper dark. Okay. So next, I'm going to get a definitive edge to where the hair touches the forehead, and it's right there. So I'm looking at this thickness when I draw our model's hair / forehead, because we're drawing the hair and the forehead at the same time. So I'm coming down with this hair, and I'm going to come across, and then it comes down, and I'm looking at this height, and then it angles up. And now I'm looking at, let's draw the hair, not the cast shadow. So this angles up, the part angles down, and then the hair, I'm looking at this thickness. The hair cruises onto our model's cheekbone. And this is not thick width right over here. Okay, so take your time with that. Don't rush. Now, this piece of hair, I call it the sideburn area. This model does not have sideburns, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and then we have, let's now look at this portion of the hair to the top of the shoulders and from here to here. And maybe I can lift that up. Okay, 1 second. I'm going a little slow with this because I feel slow today. I kind of overdid things yesterday. I did so much yesterday. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a fog here today. And also, like, a lot of snow has been melting, like tons of snow has been melting. So I think there's like mold outside because everything's been wet for weeks and months, actually, because we had a snowstorm and then most of the snow melted, and then the next day we got another snowstorm with 2 feet of snow. So we've had like this stuff on the ground for so yeah, we got a little mold going on. So I think that's messing with me also. So all right, now listen to me. I don't want to go too crazy with this, but my next step is going to be to draw the cast shadow. So the cast shadow, I'm actually drawing the light over here where my pencil is pointing. There's a little light on our model's forehead. So like these things need to be definitive edges. You need to be kind of crystal clear with some of this stuff. And we'll see if I crash and burn. So let's just look at the distance from the cast shadow that the hair is casting on the skin to the edge of the ear. That feels a little too far for me, so in the width department, so maybe I can bring this in. Okay, cool. So now my next step, everybody, I'm not even doing the features of the face just yet. I'm going to draw now where I see the line that separates the light from the dark, and it's over here on the cheekbone. Okay, so what I'm doing, everybody, is I'm looking at the where the light meets the shadow on the Rembrandt cheekbone triangle, which is right here. And I'm looking at our model's cheekbone to the outside edge of the ear. Cheekbone line that separates the edge of the cheekbone would be there because that ear is not wide. It's a front view. So I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to say this is my line that separates the light side of the model's face from the shadow. And this is going to go down into the chin. Okay. Now, it goes around the chin, and then what happens is this head is casting a shadow on the cylinder of the neck, aka the cylinder of this model's throat. And there's no straight lines when you draw people, but I'm drawing with a lot of straight lines because I'm drawing the angles technique today, and I'm not really doing so much in the ways of continuous line, even though I think continuous line is superior to the angles, but that's a story for another day. So, okay, cool. Now, what we're doing here is we're using a lot of line. Now, my inner voice is telling me, Matt, it's time to do some tone. Okay, let me look at the chat here. Matt's mold poisoning arc. Listen, I was poisoned by mold when I was bought my first home. It was a fixer-upper, and I did the 2 bedrooms upstairs. I completely gutted them myself, and came to the realization that, hey, there's a little mold behind this insulation. And if you have that, don't do that yourself. Get a mold remediation company, please, because mold is like no joke. So, all right, we've done some shapes. Okay. Now, I'm not drawing the ear. I'm not drawing the face. I am drawing the shadow. I am blocking in this tone. Okay, we're going really old school bark plate here, people. I'm not doing gesture today. We're not doing continuous line. This is my safe space, so to speak, the angles. And yes, and so what I'm going to do next, everybody, is I'm going to do a little bit of a reverse gradation. And yes, Dylan, you're going to have to take Dylan. I don't know if you're still listening, but funny story. My wife and I, we were just chatting over the weekend about moving. Not tomorrow, but in a few years, maybe 5 years. I don't know. And the first thing, as I'm talking to my wife, the first thing that came to my mind was I need to talk to when I do retire. I need to talk to the chair so Dylan can take over my classes. Absolutely, Wes is going to be so angry with me that I didn't recommend Wes. Now, as I look at the face, it feels a little thin, so I kind of want to widen the ears a little bit. Slightly is the key word there. Okay, so this is our ghost-like impression of. Oh boy, I just demolished that pencil and that sharpener. Okay. Yeah, I keep saying to myself, I'm in my late 50s and I'm not ready to retire by any means, because if you retire too early, you just pretty much go brain dead. And I don't want to have that. But I am saying to myself, I cannot possibly. Yes. Wes can be your teacher's assistant. He's gonna want to be paid like well for that. I'm like I cannot live in the state of New York my whole life. I cannot. There's other happy good places besides New York that I think I would want to try living in another state. Okay, but I digress. All right, so now I'm going a little bit darker. And am I procrastinating with drawing the facial features? No, a little bit, little bit. I am trying to build up my confidence, and this is still practice. This is still technically my warm up. Well, I would like to go to a less restrictive state. I will say that. I would want to go to a warmer climate state. I would want to go to a state that actually taxes less. Now I'm getting into topics that are no good to talk about on YouTube live streams. Okay, so let's just leave it there. Let's just say warmer climate. All right, so yeah, somewhere down south in the United States. I would love to go west, but I don't think my wife wants to deal with that. Okay. She's not into the dry heat thing. So, all right, people, let's get back to drawing and let me stop talking about my personal life. Um, so, when I look at what I've done so far, okay, I should have a sense. Does it kind of look a little bit like the models? Yeah, I think it looks a little bit like our model because of the shapes, the shape of the hair, the shape of the jaw. Okay. And now the neck has been really tripping people up. Like the last couple weeks with the models that I've been drawing from Graphit Studio. These are young models, and the necks are a little thin, and so like it's getting the neck not too thin, right? So that's the key here. Okay, so now we've got all this. I'm a big believer in shoulder tops. And the reason why I'm a big believer in shoulder tops is because I like to look at the distance from the bottom of the ear to the top of the shoulder. And so this model has, I'm sorry for my hair getting in there. This model has like the whole prop thing, the swords. I don't know, Graphit Studio's into this stuff, but I never draw any of the props. So I'm looking at the bottom of the jaw. I'm not complaining. They have great models to the top of the shoulder. Okay, so yeah. So that's important to look at. Shoulder tops are very, very important. All right, now I got the sniffles. So I got to blow my nose because that's going to be very annoying if I sniffle. All right, time out. Okie dokie. Um, what's next? So I like to look at the model's forehead as kind of like an upside down teacup. So I'm looking at our model's hair. I think it's okay where I drew it. It's not perfect, so I don't want to rely on it too much for its placement. But I'm going to start now with the angle of our model's eyebrow. And I'm looking at this and I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the angle of the eyebrow and looking at the forehead. How's that height? Maybe I can go a little lower, and I'm going to just do the two angles for the eyebrow. Okay, so let me just kind of teach you all this. So back to the warm-up sheet. So eyebrows are not this. They're not round like that unless the person is happy, excited. Eyebrows are always on a calmer model angles. They're not round, they're angles. And the thing with eyebrows is that you need to get the length of each angle of the eyebrow, because the eyebrows are angled because of the surface planes of the head. Okay? So don't draw this gal's eyebrow round. Now, are they perfectly straight? No, but they're not round like that. So see, I've got these angles here. Let me just look at the chat. What would you say to a beginner starting to draw faces to understand the face? I would say, like, what I teach in the classroom is the features are the least of it. What's more important is you being able to understand the shape of the hair versus the shape of the face. That's the container that holds the facial features. So that's what you need to work on first, is being able to get this shape of hair, shape of face. So as I look at this right now, when I'm glancing at our model's eyebrow to the chin, that feels too long to me. So I'm going to not get stuck, because I can always raise the chin. I can always raise the jaw slightly. So now remember, people, her eyes are slightly, is the key word, tilted. They're not level. They're tilted. And thus the eyebrows are tilted. So I'm going to next look at the forehead shape. And this eyebrow is a little tricky because let me erase this out, because I moved this over to the right. Good. And so to answer your question, Batman, that's the first part of the answer. The second part of the answer is that the facial features on a front view like this are in this triangle. So eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, they kind of make this triangular shape. And so, like, I'll show you as we progress, but right now I'm just doing angles. So right before the cast shadow of the hair, there's the angle of this eyebrow, and it angles down a little bit. So now I'm going to say that's the eyebrow. And so now the hair on this side is also casting a slight shadow. So I'm getting that, and that's kind of going down like that a little bit. It's a little closer to this strand of hair. Okay. So now, how is this looking to the chin? It's not bad. Let me not judge it yet. So now I'm not drawing. Listen to me, people on YouTube. I am not doing what I am showing you right now. I am not drawing the lashes and the almond shape with a circle. I am not drawing lashes like this. I am not drawing a circle for the eye, and I am not drawing an almond shape for the eyelid type place thing, whatever. Okay. So what you've got to do instead is just squint and look at the model's lashes as a shape, and they come down into that cast shadow, and that's connecting with the lid, the upper eyelid. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across to the other lash with a line of action gesture. Now listen, people, I'm giving you a lot of good information today. Could just please like the video for me. Please, I would appreciate that. You know, I'm a small hitter here on YouTube compared to these other people with their 14 million different views. I'm just like I'm small potatoes. So I'm giving you like some pretty good information here. Definitely consider liking the video. Okay, I digress. That's my big YouTube spiel. So you go across, you get those eyelashes, and now our model's eyes, they are not a full circle. They are not a full circle. They are I would say they're 3/4 of a circle, not a half circle. So the lid is going over the eye. And this model's pupils are really big. Okay, I forgot. I think that's because the lights are bright or something like that. Yeah, okay. I need to resharpen my pencil. But technically, no, I should keep it as is because I want now, right now, everybody on YouTube, I am drawing impressionistically soft with a shape like that. Man, my forearm is jacked today. Oh my God. Okay. And I need to paint later on Zoom. This is going to be interesting. Thank you. Appreciate you, Joseph. Okay. So I'm suggesting where the eye placement is, very light. Now, our model's left eye on the right side of the drawing is more open. Everybody's eyes are not symmetrical. So this eye feels a little bit bigger to me. So you see what I just did there? I did light circle. And so that's how I like to place the eyes like that. Now, as I do that, are they too far away, the center to center? Maybe I can move this eye slightly closer. And then everybody on YouTube, I am looking at the center of the pupil to the edge of the ear. How's that distance? Now, I haven't really fleshed out the ear yet, okay? But I think I'm going to push this over to the left. A little bit. Okay. Yes. Now, I'm only going to be on YouTube for an hour and a half, 2 hours tops today. So I'm treating what I'm doing here today very, very cautiously because my forearm is killing me. I'm not in practice. I'm a little timid today. Excuses, 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 excuses. But I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm completely distracted. So like I'm drawing in a way that is safe. This is a safe way to start a portrait. It's not like a gestural, quick, like 5-minute head gesture. It's not that. That's not what we're doing today. We are safely beginning to draw a longer portrait. Kids' faces. They always come out looking like they were in their 40s. You know, it's funny. Hold on. Let me just see. I want to find a text. This is relevant if you just bear with me. Kids' faces. So my sister texted me these 2 books that I illustrated years ago. And she's like, Matt, we have a bunch of these books and another one. Do you want them? And I'm like, no, please throw them out. And she's like, okay, no worries. So if I click on this photo, kids' faces, oh my God, look at that. That's gross. Kids' faces need to be rounder. Okay. I remember I had to time these paintings. They were like 6 hours each in order for me to finish the 4 books that I had to illustrate back in the day. And basically, kids, here's the answer to your question. Number 1, kids, their heads are bigger for their body. Like their heads are very big for their body. Adults, their heads are a little bit smaller for the height of their body. Number 2, kids' heads are a little bit rounder. And like I wouldn't draw kids like with these angles. It would be rounder and softer. Number 3, do not put any information on the lower eyelids. So many artists like put so much information. They see like a little line over here on the lower eyelid and they make it really dark. And that makes it so like the child is really, really tired, old, wrinkled skin. So like when I used to, let's see, how did I do this? This was in the 90s, so that was a very, very, very long time ago. Um, I didn't go too crazy on the lower eyelid. There's no information there whatsoever. Okay, that nose is all fucked up the way that I painted it. Excuse my language. Um, but this is how you learn. Now, for me right now, like this character has like a facial expression, so you have to show a little bit there. But it like that's nowadays for me that would be too dark. Like I would never go that dark on a child like that. That's not even on video. I'm sorry. Like right there. I would never do that. So lower eyelids for me are off limits on children. It just needs to be all low contrast stuff. Okay. Back to this thing. This eye needs to be over for sure. Okay. So now I'm drawing the shadow on the side of our model. I hope that helped. Yeah, it's the thing. I'm trying to pronounce your name correctly, but I'm not even going to attempt it. The thing with when you let's say you're doing not it doesn't have to be a book cover or a book. Let's just say you want to do portraits, okay, of children. Thank you, I appreciate you. My philosophy, and this is just my philosophy. You have 14 million different teachers on YouTube here that, and each one would say something different. But since I illustrated books for 18 years of my life, almost 19, it was 19, but it was just a couple. I didn't want to do it anymore. Um, I find that when you're doing paintings of children, less is best. Less information on the face is better than more. When you do more information, the person tends to look tired, older, um, and even with painting, if you're using certain colors, it could almost look as though their face might be bruised for real. Like I've done that 14 million different times. Okay. So I'm just trying to place our model's mouth. So I'm getting the shadow under the lower lip. I'm not liking that at all. The mouth needs to tilt with the eyes. It's a subtle tilt, people. It's subtle. I should look at the corner of the lip to the bottom of the nose. This model's nose is very short. We're almost like looking up at the nose. And so then I wasn't long with it. I'm just going to say the bottom of the model's chin is maybe here. So this is a very safe way to start a portrait. So I would say that that could be our first go through. So I'm going to just do a little bit under the lip, and I'm going to connect this and go a little lower with the bottom of the chin. This is an important landmark area. Because that's going to determine length. Now, the beautiful thing is that you could always go a little bit wider with things. Like you can always go a little wider with the ears, a little wider with the hair, and that would be helpful. Any questions so far, everybody? All right, it's time for a little drink here. Okay. Not bad for 40 minutes and talking. Like we've got an impressionistic, I like to call this what we've got here. It's an impressionistic, ghost like image of our model. Okay, so now we're going to start to liven it up a little bit, and we're going to start to press down a little bit harder. And so I'm going to go to my safe space. My safe space is going to be this model's hair because it's non-committal, and this is going to break on me. Oh, I love it. Oh boy, look at that. That's beautiful. Gee whiz. Okay, hold on. Okay, not bad. Let's just make the hair darker. Now, when you are drawing the model's hair, do not go round like that. It is not round. I see this all the time. It's angles. It's rounded angles, which is a oxymoron. Um, Dylan, I'm still like laughing about Wes being the teacher's assistant. And man, I'll tell you, when I did that voiceover, that was really difficult to do. Um, I was tired that day. I just was. And I was trying my best, but the voiceovers, my God, I thought I would have been better at it, but I kind of sucked at doing the voiceover. Um, okay, so I'm going a little bit darker because I've said many times before on the YouTube live streams here that matching values is very helpful with likeness. And I'm doing longer strokes for the model's hair because I don't want to do this kind of short chicken scratch stroke for the model's hair. It's not that. This model's hair is long. Um, so I'm doing longer pencil strokes. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to have been of help. It was a lot of fun, and it was a good experience. And but what Wes said about the breathing thing, like I I got it like after, like I wasn't focused at all on the breathing. Now this strand of hair comes below our model's eye by quite a bit, and this part of our model's hair where I'm pointing right now, the little light is hitting that. It's not white paper, but it's light. I'm going to leave it white paper kind of for now. And then this is an underplane a little bit, so it's curving under. And there's light hitting over here. It's not white paper, but I'm going to leave it fairly light for now because I really just don't want to commit. Okay, and then I do believe the hair starts to go back like that into the model's ponytail or bun, whatever. Um, so you've got to draw. Oh, Jazz will be designing the character. Oh my God. Okay, please, nothing green and don't like do dark eyes like the alien thing. Please, like try to make me look halfway decent for Christ's sakes. Okay, I digress. So see what I'm doing, everybody, as I'm drawing our model's hair. I am drawing my pencil strokes with the direction that the hair is lying on our model's head. And I'm simultaneously I'm trying, I don't know how successful I'm being. I am trying to draw with longer pencil stroke direction, not short chicken scratch. So I'm giving you some good nuggets of wisdom here. I hope this is helping you. How do I understand the hair in the eyes? I'm assuming that you mean eyelashes. So it's easy. I don't ever draw eyelashes individually. Maybe after. Instead, what I do is I like to group the lashes together. like that. And usually the lashes blend into the eye. And then I just butchered it. Then I'll do like a couple of individual lashes. Okay. So we've got our model's hair. I'm going really slow today, people. I'm sorry. Again, it doesn't matter how professional you are, how many years you've been doing it. You're going to have good days and bad days. I'm not saying today's a bad day, but what I am saying is it's a slow day. I feel like a little slow today. Okay, so now we've got our sideburn area into the angle of our model's cheekbone. And then I want to get the cheekbone on the other side also and get that width. Line that separates can be a little bit more to the left. It's hard to see this side of the jaw because it's so low contrast. I'm going to go a little darker with the shadow. Again, everybody, I'm still drawing with long lines. I am not using short lines, maybe right there under the chin because it's a short area, but yeah. Okay, let me just go a little darker. Now, notice I didn't go dark in the ear yet. I don't care about that. That's a detail I'm not ready to even start thinking about doing. I'm just primarily trying to structure out the face, okay? Now, the lips still, for me, feel a little low. They're too far away from our model's eyes. So this bottom of the eye, now there's the lid there that I didn't draw to that. I'm not going to do major surgery on the lips just yet, but they do feel a little low. I think I'm going to go with this for the bottom of our model's chin. Okay, so now I'm going to come back. Okay, so how long have we been doing this now? 48 minutes. I'm just bending my arm a different way, so just bear with me here for a moment. Um, so next step, what's my next step? I'm going to start over with the facial features, okay? I'm just straightening out my arm here for a second. So next step is going to be to thicken up and build up our model's eyebrows a little bit more confidently. How far away is this shadow from that strand of hair? And is that strand of hair a good spot? And how far away is this from the other side? Okay. So I like to draw portraits, longer portraits, and even the short gestural portraits that I do at SVA, because like I'm going to be doing that on Thursday. In my 4th year live drawing class, we are doing portrait drawing. So there's a couple students in that room who like longer stuff, but for the most part, they all want like the short poses. And so I'm going to teach them how to do like a head gesture that is more of a short type of thing. And so, yeah, but this is not that. This is longer today. So next, I'm going to resharpen the pencil one more time. This is kind of tilting down to that tear duct. Being a little impressionistic here today. How far away are the tear ducts from each other? And they're almost level. Like this one's a little bit lower. So I am drawing the eyes with angles, not the almond shape. Nothing against almonds. Um, Now, the lash area, I am not drawing the individual lashes. I am just trying to draw a shape. If you squint, Johnny Clap, awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me here on the live stream. Um, yeah, like lately with me, I've gotten a little bit older, and I'm in great shape for my age, late 50s. Really good shape. Uh, no medications, none of that stuff. So I'm very fortunate and I'm very lucky. Uh, but I still like I was a beast when I was younger with sports. I abused my body with like painting for 10 hours a day, creating all sorts of like arthritis in my joints from doing that. Like I was not healthy when I was younger in terms of exercising and all of that. I basically lived the life of an illustrator whose primary focus was to um, meet deadlines. And when you're a professional illustrator and you're meeting deadlines, you are basically sitting in a chair all day and you are painting and drawing all day. And that was my life in the 90s and the early 2000s. And that is really not good for your body when you sit all day and you don't stretch and you don't lift weights. And yeah, and my food was not good back then either. I just ate the standard American diet, which is crap. So yeah, and so now I'm paying for it a little bit, and but I'm still in really good shape for somebody my age. Uh, but yeah, so for all of you people out there who draw and paint and you sit down for long periods of time, be sure to not do that and periodically get up, stretch, move. Um, yeah, that's my little words of wisdom. Okay. Where am I? We need some nostrils. So on this part of the front plane of the nose begins the ball. So I like to do that like little shape, those vertical lines over there. It's just a value shift. And there's a great artist, Malcolm Lipke, and I just always love the way Malcolm Lipke drew and painted noses. Like he made them red, and the values were like a little bit darker. So yeah, um, this is the pencil that I use all the time, and almost every single drawing tutorial on my website is filmed with it. So it's basically called a Prismacolor Color Race. And unfortunately, you can no longer buy the black separately because Prismacolor is an idiotic corporation. They only sell like blue, red, and green separately. Like, who makes these decisions? Like, for real? Um, so I still have tons of the black, so it's the Prismacolor Color Race, the black color. But the Prismacolor Corporation, they're a bunch of morons. I'm sorry. How could you not sell the black pencil individually? Like, how could you not do that? Um, how could you like instead sell the color green separately? Like, I let me just stop. I'm gonna rant. But my God, like as I've gotten older, people just make weird decisions, and that is like a very very weird decision. Um, why you would not sell the individual black pencil is just beyond my comprehension as a human being on this planet. Okay, but I digress. Let's get back to being positive. Okay, so all right, there's my little nose first go through, and Okay. Gosh. There's this cast shadow that the nose is casting on the face. It kicks out a little bit. I don't want to match that value. It's way too dark. I just want to see something. Hold on. Oh. So this is the drawing that I'm gonna. I need to spray fix this. Oh my god, I've got to do this before 2 o'clock. I need to spray fixative on this. This is this pencil on gessoed illustration board, and it just it's so awesome. It's like you can paint with it on this board. And I after I drew this, like I'm like, oh my god, like this is so much better than on this paper. Like you can just I granted, this is a 4 hour drawing, and so far we've been working on this for less than an hour. Oh my god. But yeah, and I haven't even used the brush yet. I'm just using the pencil. But this pencil is awesome on that gessoed board. So now I want to get the little dimple here under above the lip, the center. Now over here, everybody, I don't like to press down hard, but I'm just putting, like, especially on a young girl, like I don't want there to have the appearance of like a mustache. So I usually don't even put those lines there, but I'm just doing it to help me with placement. It's weird. I've just had these experiences because, like, I remember when I used to, in the 90s and early 2000s, be an illustrator. Like, this was before, like, the commonplace of social media. I mean, people had computers, but it wasn't like what it is now. Um, and so, like, it was very analog, my life as an illustrator. And I just remember the fear and the anxiety of having to drop off a painting, traveling into Manhattan to go to these big corporations, these publishing companies, and just being like, "Oh my God, am I going to get changes today? Are they going to like it? Am I going to have to bring the painting home to fix it?" And like, it was always just weird crap that they would comment on, like, "Oh, like, the model looks like they have a mustache," or the model, the rim light looks too gimmicky for me. Like, yeah, it was just like stuff that you could never predict. It was like the whim of the art director. I'm so happy I don't do that anymore. um so yeah. um that's why when I say be careful over here, that can look like a mustache, that's me being ruined by all of these like nitpicky art directors over the years. Um, and yeah, that, I guess that was my rite of passage, being an illustrator. Okay, so, and learning all that stuff, all that torture that I went through. Leave this line light. Okay. Okay. So it's 10:59. Do you know where your child is? It is 10:59 a.m. That is with talking and with being very timid and conservative. That's my first go through. That is my first go through. Okay. So now, time out. I would like to I should send you all of my Color pencils. I have a ton of them. I bought them when we met. Hey, the black ones for sure. Like, I I I occasionally I do draw with the red a lot in the classroom, just because they're short drawings, and um, I do like the red. The blue feels a little too gimmicky to me. Like, I have a couple of my favorite drawings that were done in the blue. Um, but the black is where it's at. So, okay, people, listen to me. I am going to take a short 2 minute stand up break, bathroom break. And when we come back, I am going to use this brush to start pushing the pencil into the tooth of this paper So it gets darker, and I'm going to start to paint with this brush right now. All right. Give me like a minute to two. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're back. And so now let's try to use this brush. It's not the stiffest brush. It's kind of stiff, but not crazy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to gently press into my pencil, and I'm going to push it into the tooth of the paper. So I'll do it on the left side first so you can see the difference between the left and the right. So what that just did is it immediately made this darker. Okay. So let me look at the chat here. Do you ever critique pieces? Dylan, J. Baldwin. I have been critiquing people's artwork my whole teaching career since 1997. But on my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com, I have been critiquing people's artwork since 2009. How do I do that? Every Monday on my website, I have this thing on my website called the Critique Gallery. Members upload their artwork, and then I drag it into Photoshop and I draw on top of it and I critique it. And I do this every Monday, and I put that video up on the website so members can download the video and watch their critique. So yes, I do that, but I do not do that on YouTube because no, I'm not critiquing people's artwork on YouTube. I do that enough on my website for real. And then I do that for students at the School of Visual Arts for their homework. I critique it in class. It's really fun when you do it with a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds. I try to make them laugh because it's a very tense time because everybody has an ego and everybody wants and me too. I have like a big ego. And everybody wants everybody to like their artwork, and everybody wants to do good, and so it's could be stressful for like a lot of younger students, a group critique, and so I like to get behind the psychology of coaches who teach Olympic athletes and how they critique the athletes in a way that is positive. So I've done like a lot of learning about all of that, and yeah, so that's a story for another day. But yes, I do do that. Hi, Angelia. I know you've been here the whole time, but thank you for that. Angelia, sometimes in the summer, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this, but I do personal one-to-one coaching. So you get 4 critiques, 4 video critiques, and 4 um, Zoom calls. So yeah. Now look, everybody, that's enough of me promoting my stuff. But you asked, and so Dylan. So I just wanted to explain. Um, gosh, look at how much darker the left side is than the light side. So this brush, what does it accomplish? It's just another step, but what it accomplishes is it gets rid of all those white specks, which is the pencil not getting into the grooves of the paper, the little pits in the paper, the tooth of the paper. So now if I start to come over here and I press down harder a little, I'm not really pressing down too hard, but just pressing down with the brush, now I'm pushing with the Bristol brush into the tooth of the paper. Thus making it darker and a little bit more painterly and a little bit more atmospheric. Now, of course, I'm not even close to being finished, but this does help move the drawing along. You can do this over here in the background to make like a light mid-tone. You can make the hair softer with the brush because hair is supposed to be soft. No, not with a grease pencil. Grease pencil is a grease pencil. So I'm sure people find a way to do stuff with a grease pencil. Like, hold on, let me see. I don't want to ruin my brush, but I'll use a different brush. Hold on, I'm getting a different brush. Okay, so Sharpie, China marker, aka grease pencil. Ooh, that's really dark. Okay, now let's get a Bristol brush. These are all fairly long, and they're not all Bristol. Darn it. Okay, so maybe I'll grab this one. It's not a stiff brush, but I was wrong. It's blending pretty good. It's pushing into the paper. Now, the question is, does it erase? Mono 0. It erases much better than I thought it would. I'm impressed. I still wouldn't want to do a portrait with this, but yeah, it does erase. Kind of. Okay, back to that brush. Where is that brush? It's right here. I want to have everything somewhat even. So there's a gradation on our model's forehead. This is darker. The eye socket, go over the eye, side of the nose, underplane of the nose, lower lashes. She's wearing tons of makeup, so I can go darker with the lower. Tons is a too strong of a word, just makeup. This side of the cheekbone is darker than that side because it's the shadow side of the face. This eye's bigger, and we're softening the lashes. Underplane of the eye socket area. Okay. So, what do I see? This eye's too high. Shame on me. Um, this lid line is closer to that eyebrow. Okay. So, let's do our best to tweak. Although I do like the way that this is coming out, I don't want to tweak it too much, but I'll just go for it. So, let's raise this. Let's I don't I don't want to overdo this. I'm okay if it's not perfect, cuz this eye is bigger than the other eye, and it might be an optical illusion. So I'm just trying to get the outside of the iris clear, definitive edge. This is more of like a half circle, kind of, sort of. And that eye is higher for sure. Um, Bob. Yeah, I remember, Bob, when you were a member. It was good times, good times. You really worked hard to do like a lot of drawings, and I appreciated when you were a member of the site. Every student eventually moves on. That's how it goes in real life at real school. Um, students move on to the next teacher, and that's just the educational system. That's what people are used to. It's very hard to stay with the same teacher forever, and like I'll never forget like when I first started like my website in I think it was 2009, and people joined, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, people are joining my website, they like it. And then the first time somebody canceled, I was like devastated. And I'm like, oh my god, what did I do wrong? And what I've learned from all these years is that you you know everybody may not like the way that you teach. Like, people like different teachers for different reasons. It could be the tone of like the teacher's voice that like a student doesn't like. It could be the way the teacher laughs. A student doesn't like that. Um, the sound irritates them, or maybe they don't like the teacher's philosophy. So there's many, many, many. Maybe they just didn't have money to pay for the membership, so they canceled. Or maybe drawing was like a hobby, and then they decided after joining that, yeah, this isn't my hobby anymore. This is too hard. Um, so there's a multitude of reasons why people stop taking somebody's class or being a member of their website. It's yeah, it took me a while to figure all that out. Uh, okay, so I'm still timid with this drawing. I'm really not being overly aggressive with the way that I'm drawing it. I'm going way too slow. I hope this is not like watching paint dry. You got it, Dylan. Appreciate you. So the thing with the website is, even if you joined for 1 month, which is basically $20. Just $20 for 30 days. In that 30 days, Dylan, you could technically get 4 critiques um, from somebody who has close to 40 years of experience being a professional artist. That's a pretty damn good deal. $20 for like 4 critiques, and then you get the 4 critiques, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not staying with this website. I don't want to have another bill, and you cancel. You would get some pretty valuable information for sure about your artwork, your work process, because that's a big thing that people, and I'm teaching that this week in my perspective and visual design class. We're talking about your work, their work process, and starting to develop a work process. And that's something that a lot of people never even take into consideration. So I love that, and I love teaching that subject matter. So I'm just, I'm not perfect with this today. There's a lot that this front view for me, it's it takes time. How far away is this shadow from the tear duct? It's fairly close. And I'm doing short, choppy strokes right now. I'm not doing my continuous line stuff. And in all honesty, that's just me with elbow pain, and that's why I'm doing that. Okay, so let's come over to this side. And this eye is just so much more rounder and open. For me, Michael, the size of the paper is everything. Now, why is that? So, Michael, so let's put things into context. Is it? It's not Michael. It's is it Michelle? Michelle. I'm sorry. I no. I don't know if that's Michelle. But I just glanced at that name really quickly, so I apologize for that. So listen to me. Listen to me. Size does matter, no pun intended. But basically, when I was an illustrator, I had to mail at least 50% of my paintings to publishing companies that were out of New York State. So most of my, I saw there's other chats. I'll get Michelle. Thank you. Um, I would have to fit my book cover painting into a FedEx box. FedEx boxes were 12 inches by 17 inches. And so size meant everything to me. So every time I was going to work for a client out of state and I had to mail the painting, it would be easier for me not to make a custom box, but to use a FedEx large box. Now, there were times when I had to do the painting a little bit bigger, so I would make a box, okay, like a wood frame for the painting, and then yeah, so that's a story for another day. But like size mattered immensely for me when I was an illustrator because like if an extra inch around the painting would be an extra day or two of like work because my work was very very detailed, and I used to work in more of like a realistic way, so the size of the painting really, really made a huge difference for me. Now, one could argue that if you work small, it actually takes you like a little bit longer to do the detail versus if you work bigger, then you can paint more painterly and do the details with a bigger brush, and there's some legitimacy to that argument for sure. But for me, like, it was more about like the mailing aspect of mailing the painting, that I needed the box to be fairly small. Now, for what I'm doing now, because I'm not an illustrator anymore, thank goodness, I uh, have to do my drawings for my camera. Like, I cannot have this massive, big, huge 3 foot by 4 foot canvas, because then my camera setup would not accommodate that. Like, I'm working at a 45-degree angle. My camera is above my head. And if this piece was big, like much bigger, then I'd have to retool my whole camera setup. And that is a royal pain in the butt. And it, like, I'm not wanting to do that right now. And then other reasons, I'm doing a 2 hour live stream, and so this is a fairly small drawing. And basically, the bigger the drawing, the longer it takes me. So I wouldn't finish anything if the drawing was bigger. So I've always enjoyed working smaller. As I get older, it's still working for me. My eyes are not what they used to be, unfortunately. So working bigger would probably be better for my eyes. But right now, this size is small compared to what other people do. It's very small. I never really enjoyed doing life-size portraits. I always liked working smaller, for sure. Um, but that's just me. Like, you need to find you. And I've always enjoyed looking at artists who work really big. Like, one of my art fantasies is to do like big, 4 foot by 5 foot wide, like landscape, like charcoal landscapes, charcoal oil paintings of landscapes. And but yeah, I don't have time to do that right now. But that is like a little bit of a fantasy, to do that and working much, much bigger. Okay, so this hair is below the eye. But for now, um, this is what I'm doing here, working a little bit smaller. I'm not digging this eye right now, but I'm going to keep going with it. So Michelle, so paper size is important. And when you, like, if I answer that with a hierarchical answer, it's about your lifestyle that you want to live. So, like, if you want to live a lifestyle with your artwork where you get in and you get out, and it's just quick, then smaller, in my opinion, is better. It's more controllable. Like, I've got a big studio. It's not about the size, but it's about the size for me for completion time. I feel more comfortable working smaller. I can complete stuff quicker. But if you're in it for more of like a long duration drawing, a bigger drawing that's going to take you days, not hours, well, then maybe bigger might be better for you. If you're older and your eyesight is failing, maybe bigger is better for you. So it's like, one size does not fit all. It's about people's individual lifestyle choices. Um, okay. Well, after what, 5 to 7 years, I continue to be thankful for your method. Yeah, got you. Appreciate you, Bob. Okay, let's go a little darker here. And I want to look at the distance from the cheekbone, jawbone to the edge of this nose, which can be a little wider. This is the round ball shape on the tip of the nose. Wow, it's a good conversation here today. Yeah, so Michelle, I hope I'm saying that correctly. There was a woman a few years ago, maybe it's going on 5 years now, that I did coaching with this woman. And this woman lived, I believe, in California. Really nice woman. And we were talking about, like, they wanted to be like a portrait artist, and we were talking. They wanted to do oil painting. We were talking about like their process and all of like the pitfalls they would encounter. And one of the most stressful things for them was all of the different size canvases. And one painting they would do would be 16 by 20, and then the next one would be 11 by 14, and then the next one would be 2 feet by 3 feet. And that was very stressful for them. And I'm like, listen, why don't you just try this experiment where on your website you only offer people two sizes of paintings? One size would be 11 by 14, and the other one maybe would be 14 by 17. So then you make your life so much more easier and simpler with a system that way. So then you only buy frames if you're going to frame the painting for the client that fit like 11 by 14 or 14 by 17 canvases. And this woman was like, "Oh God, I never thought of it that way. Like just only working certain sizes for the ease of framing, for the ease of like bulking up, getting like what's the word that I'm looking for? Bulk frames that you can order from companies. Like maybe you get 10 frames at a time." And so then, it's easier for you to order that and to store it and to do all that sort of stuff. There's highlights in the eyes. I haven't put that in. So like it's more of like a practical thing, sizing, right? This my paper that I'm using today is tiny. And why is it tiny? Because I need to be able to see, like, right to my right. This is on my computer screen, my Cintiq, at a 45-degree angle. Like, the YouTube video is right underneath, like, my piece of paper. And I can see the chat, like, right to the right on my screen. So, like, this is more of a system for me. And this is more of, like, a practicality for me to have the paper smaller so I can see my computer screen. Yeah, so I have all weird criteria for size. Let's see, what time is it? We'll work for maybe another 20 more minutes. These are really good questions today. Thank you, everybody. So the thing with what I'm doing here the last few weeks, I've been drawing a portrait a week, and so like I wouldn't say that my portrait drawing is perfect today, but it is going a little bit easier because I have been drawing a portrait a week, and I think that when you do this consistently, like every week, you just get faster, you get a little bit more confident, a little bit more understanding of what's needed. Like, hold on. Like, I did this portrait of the same model a couple weeks ago, and I didn't use the brush. And like, I love this drawing a lot, but like this one, I used the brush, and this one I didn't. And you can see all the white specks in the paper. Like, I'm not into that. So like I've just learned, like, okay, I've been doing this now for like a few weeks in a row. Like, I like the brush. Like, that's part of my style. That's part of my process of using the brush to draw these portraits, and that's something that I always will do. But if you don't do this every week, what winds up happening is you forget, and then you fall into old habits. You're like, oh yeah, damn, I forgot. I used to use the brush, and then I did this drawing. I don't know why I didn't like it, and it's because I don't like seeing all the tooth of the paper. So these distinctions, you need to write them down, and like they're very, very important. And so you don't always like make the same mistakes over and over and over again. That's important. That nose is a little dark for me, but I'm just going to leave it. Now, listen, has anybody on YouTube watching me seen me draw the eyelashes on this model's eye like that? No, it's just a shape. It's just a shape for now. Now, would I like the eyes to be a little bit more tilted? Are they're subtly tilted. Um, so maybe I'll raise this, and I will draw the lash that's tilting up, and that will help me with the optical illusion that this gal's right eye, the left one on the drawing that you're seeing on YouTube, is higher. And then I could raise the lashes on the lower eyelid because her eye is tilted up like that. And I could make this white of the eye a little bit darker. And yeah, getting there slowly. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit more over here with the hair. Like I would love to just spend the whole day doing this. I can't because I have my Zoom class coming up at 2 o'clock for members of DTO where we will be mixing out value strings on a palette with oil paint and then commencing to start an underpainting. You got it. I appreciate your question. Um, but yeah, I can spend all day on this thing. This would be so much fun. And I don't know, maybe I can't do it this week because tomorrow I'm going into the city to teach at the School of Visual Arts. So my week at home is pretty much over tomorrow. Now that ear is kind of equal with that nostril. Um, so there's no time for me to come back and draw on YouTube this week. But I would like to continue this for sure. Now I need everybody on this live stream. How many people are visiting with me here today? Um, okay, 28. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Would you like me? Because I would love to bring this drawing into Photoshop and paint on top of it digitally. But I don't know if the people who watch me on YouTube would want to watch that. Would that be boring for you to watch me digitally paint on top of this drawing and create a finished painting um, digitally in Photoshop? If anybody's interested in that, I would love to hear because I almost did that today. But then I was like, no, that's not my audience. My audience is people who want to draw with a pencil and go from start to finish. That's why they're joining me here on YouTube. Now, that's not to say that I have to do the same thing every single week, but um, yeah, I definitely want to. I paint on top of people's artwork all the time when I do video critiques. Um, okay. So we got two yeses, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. Now I use Photoshop, but you can do the same thing in Procreate. And yeah, Procreate is free, and people don't like Photoshop because it's a tax. I get it for free from the college, so I'm going to use it. And yeah, I like I've been critiquing people's artwork using Photoshop for years. So I am just very used to using Photoshop to paint. Um, Poison Violet. Okay. Poison Violet, is this the violet from SVA or no? No, just the username. Yeah, I have a student. I had them twice, foundation drawing and then the perspective class, violet. And so I was just curious. Okay, I need to work on the mouth a little. Actually, before I do that, I want to get a couple more strands of hair. Thin. Softer. Um, I could make this ear slightly lower. That would help with the tilt. And what a lot of people never take into consideration is where your jawbone angles. I call that the vertical angle, I call that the tilted angle, and I call that the angle for the chin. Where the vertical angle touches the angled angle, that's weird. That should be a consistent tilt with the nose, with the eyes, with the eyebrows, with the lips. I don't know if mine's truly consistent, but I'm trying. So I kind of curve this one a little bit. This one needs to be curved too, so they sync up. And that needs work. Let's just say that. Okay, so how far away is this shadow on the side of the lower lip to the edge of the face? It's pretty close. John Doe, welcome. Um, Something is off on my drawing. It's driving me a little cuckoo. Uh, but I'm going to keep going with it. It's just a 2 hour live stream drawing, Matt. It's not the next coming of Leonardo da Vinci. It's okay if it's off, right? Yes. Um, Now, last week in the comments, and trust me, I'm not worried about the comments and my ego and all that stuff. Um, I just like being clear with my explanations, and everything that I'm doing here is for teaching. So somebody wrote in the comment last week, all right already, you know, you talked about the likeness so much. You got a good enough likeness. It's fine. What are you going on about? And I'm like, yeah, I definitely, rambled on a little bit too much about the likeness. But here's the thing. Everybody draws for a reason. And I've always loved the challenge of trying to get the model's likeness. And I go into every drawing that I do with that mindset in mind. And so that's why I was belly aching so much like last week about the likeness, or 2 weeks ago, whenever the heck it was, because that's like my thing. Everybody gets their enjoyment with drawing or painting, and you need to know why you get your enjoyment. Like, what's your hierarchical with this? For me, it's always been likeness. It's just I love the challenge of likeness. So that's why I like to hem and haw that I didn't get the likeness. And that's my standard. Now, other people, they could care less about the likeness. They don't really care at all. They care about other things. They care about gesture. They care about movement. They care about emotion. They care about, you know, their line quality, like all these different reasons why people draw. But my point is this, with all this talking that I'm doing, is just find the reason why you do what you do with drawing and painting, and so you go into your paintings with clarity, or your drawings with clarity, like, oh, I'm doing this because I just enjoy working analog with a pencil. I could care less about likeness. That's not my thing. So like it's very helpful if you're clear with that. Um, I'm back and forth doing a random live, no niche at the moment, although an artist. All right, cool. Very cool. So really what my expertise is painting. Because I did it my entire life. Um, 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, oil painting, all that stuff. Um, so that's what I've trained the most in is truly painting. Um, I shouldn't do anything on this side of the face, but I'm going to do it anyways. I should go with my concept of less is best. So again, I don't want to step on anybody's toes because I know there's like a lot of prominent teachers on YouTube who are really good people, good instructors, great artists who swear by, the Loomis thing. And I'm not against that. Like I would never talk down on that. I think that's good. Again, like I've been doing this for so many years and I've learned what is one of the things that I have learned. I've really learned this thing with phases. Like people go through phases where they maybe for like 5 years they do their art like a certain way and they do it that way for 5 years. And then they learn something new and they abandon what they did the prior 5 years because they like the new thing. Or they just like evolve into a new artist because people never stay the same. Everybody changes as they get older, as their tastes change, as their like changes. So like the Loomis thing is a really good thing and I'm not against it. You see, like and I think I might have seen that like when I was younger and maybe I just saw it for a split second but I never really like adopted it. Like what I adopted instead through many hundreds and hundreds of hours of teaching life drawing and doing life drawing is more of I call it comparative analysis, where I analyze where is this hair, compare where's the other hair, analyze where's the height of this eyebrow, compare it to the height of that eyebrow. So I'm analyzing and I'm comparing. I'm analyzing and I'm comparing. And I love like level lines and plumb lines and that's how I get likeness. I do it with my eyes and I do it through comparing things and analyzing things. Now, the Loomis method is a great method. Now, listen, I could talk all day about technique versus style, technique versus style. So, like the Loomis head, I think is great. But for me, that's a certain technique, right? And it's in the beginning when you are learning. I'm going to get myself into trouble here, but I don't really care. This is just my opinion. You can disagree with me all day long, and that's just fine. So, like to me, drawing tech, and I'm a drawing teacher who teaches drawing techniques. Like they are just training wheels for you to learn the concept. So, like when you draw surface planes, it's training wheels to teach you that, hey, the figure is made of these three-dimensional surface planes, these boxes. But then you don't want to draw boxes and you don't want to draw surface planes. You want to draw in your own style. And this is something where people get trapped with these techniques, and the techniques become their identity. So, like, and I've done this myself. I've made all of the mistakes that you could possibly make. So what do I mean by that? So years when I was in school, like I learned like a teacher's method to mixing paint. And like I thought that was like the end all and be all. And but it was when I was learning how to paint and learning how to mix values in paint. And then that was my training wheels for me to get on my feet, learn how to mix paint, understand values, and then you could go without that and just do your own style because now you've done that so many times that it's subconsciously in your brain. And so remember, a lot of these techniques that I'm saying me first, me and other teachers teach, they're really training wheels, and then you eventually take the training wheels off of the bicycle and you allow your balance, your innate balance to ride the bike. So what I'm doing right now on YouTube, love it or hate it, I'm not saying this is a great drawing, but what I'm doing is I'm relying on my innate ability to visually measure and not use a technique to measure, aka the Loomis method. I hope that makes sense. I'm not trashing the Loomis method. I think it's awesome. I just don't use it. Um, yeah, again, everybody draws. That's a really good point, William. Everybody draws for different reasons. The reason one of the reasons that gives me, Matt, YouTube artist, satisfaction. I get satisfied with my drawings when I capture the likeness. I get very frustrated with myself when I do not capture the likeness. That is a distinction that allows me to have clarity. And you need to do that for yourself. Like, why am I drawing? Like, why am I doing this? Well, because I'm in front of a computer screen all day at my job and I hate it. And I want to get back to analog. I want to use my hands. I want to create something with my hand. Maybe that's the reason why you like to draw. Everybody has to be clear on why they're doing what they're doing. Um, Oh, Will Weston. I would like to take a class from Will Weston. I mean, my God, I love his art. It's incredible, um, really incredible. And I just love looking at his demos. And his demos are really pretty. Like my demos, I don't like the way that my demos look when I do them. Like, but Will Weston's demos, oh my God, they are so pretty. That's an art all unto itself, making your drawing demonstrations pretty, and he is great at that. One day I would like to take a class with Will Weston for sure. What time is it? Okay, we're doing okay. So now under the eyebrow, there's too much distance between the eyebrow and the eyelid line, but it's fine. I'm not lowering that. I'm not raising that, but I'm acknowledging that there's too much distance between the eyebrow and the eyelid. And if this eyelid was higher, the likeness would be better because the eyes are tilted. But at least I'm understanding that. Now, the other thing that I did not do, I did not draw the highlight in the eye. And that too would help a little bit with likeness. Um, I don't think I should like really concern myself with that at this point in the game here. But that if for you, that would help to do that. This gal, her nostrils like the camera's looking up at. Oh, okay. Listen to me. I know these people just could give a shit less. They could just give a shit less about me. But listen, Graphit Studio, if you're watching this, and I know you're not, but if you are, I would like to promote your photography. Do you have a an affiliate link that I could use? If so, please message me. Yes, okay, that's my little thing there because I promote Graphit Studio. Like they get so much free advertising from me, and it's insane. And I'm sure nobody like. Yes, Angelia, thank you. I appreciate you for like saying that my critiques are okay. But I would love to have like a big Graphit Studio like promoting like my YouTube channel. That would be kind of cool because I promote their photos. And Carmela. Thank you, Carmela. I don't think Carmela is with us here today, but Carmela promotes my critiques. And thank you, Carmela. I appreciate you so much. Okay, what do I do next, people? What on YouTube? What looks off? What's not right? I'm asking your opinion. I'm gonna make this cheek a little darker. My forearm is still screaming at me. Let's make a gradation on the forehead. I'm keeping this side fairly light. I'm not matching the values. I'm not paying attention to anything with the ears. I'm just trying to focus. I should draw a little bit of the model's neck. This is called the SCM muscle. It comes down from behind your ear. It's coming down to your collarbone. Where is that collarbone? You should always, like, if you're going to study anatomy, collarbones is where you should start, aka the clavicles, because they should be in every portrait that you do. Um, it's just low hanging fruit. Like this is the side slash front plane of the clavicle. It's actually, yeah, the shoulder needs to be higher. Okay. And like that's low hanging fruit. Like put that anatomical landmark into your portrait drawings, and it would be awesome. And this is the other SCM muscle. The other clavicle, how far away is the clavicle from the shoulder? That's a fold of skin. This is AKA SCM muscle. This gal, she's in shape, so she's got a pretty thick neck. Um, so I don't want to go too thin with the neck. That wouldn't be cool. And the clavicle, I'm looking at the trapezius. Oh wow, look at that trapezius. That is nuts. It's like kicking out. Um, and then the clavicle. I didn't draw it correctly, but I'm just saying to you, you should draw that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the brush, but this time I'm going to get a bigger brush. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, it's almost 2 hours. I'm really starting to get stiff. I believe John. I've messaged them. They just completely ignored me. I feel so betrayed. Okay, I believe Graphit accepts messages for affiliate links through their arts. Oh, ArtStation. Okay. Discord server. I've never even been on a Discord server. I'm so old. Okay. All right. John, maybe this week I'll look into it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm using a bigger brush. I don't want to overblend this because then it just looks too soft and it looks like that kind of whatchamacallit, um, blend and stump thing. Listen, my friends on YouTube, I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. I feel, yeah, their references are awesome. They've got really pretty models too, and love them. I feel like I'm just getting started, and it's a little frustrating as I feel as though I'm just getting started. I need to come close to stopping. Um, No, seriously, like I let me clarify, John, because I don't want to sound like some pompous ass or anything like that. What I'm saying is that I feel like my hand, and I feel like I am warmed up now. Whereas in the beginning of this drawing, I felt like my hand felt like a piece of freaking concrete. That's what I mean. So I feel as though I could really um, start to like get into the nitty gritty, John, of all the details. Like this is more of the first kind of go through. So like this for me, I would love 4 hours. Like honestly, like I could do really good with 4 hours and some like breaks in between. So it's not 4 hours straight. It's 4 hours with like getting coffee. And so I would be like warmed up and a little bit more chill. Like I've gone through like the difficulty of trying to get proportions as best as I can. So like I feel like I'm over the hump with this drawing, but it still needs like a couple of hours of work, honestly. And I could make so John, what would I do next? I would just keep making edges more refined, like this ear. I'm going to refine it. I'm going to make the edge a little bit more complicated. I'm also going to work on some more of these hair strands. I might also do like a background tone. Look, I didn't even draw all the hair back over there, and that would be like this edge sucks. Like this jaw, like that line's going out. It's there. The lines are not even like connected. So I could clean up all of these edges um, and make the hair crisper in certain sections. And like there's so much left to do with this drawing. That's what I mean by like I'm just kind of getting warmed up with it. And I could go for like 2 more hours with this drawing. Easily 2 hours. Both eyes I would like to do darker. Both eyes I would like to do the highlight. I don't think I'm going to do that in this live stream, but those are things that I would love to do. Um, so, like, if I put things into context, and listen to me, I'm not an illustrator anymore. I specifically and deliberately wanted to stop illustrating books because I did it for 18 years of my life and it kind of destroyed me. And I said, okay, no moss, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. John, thank you so much. That was very, very kind of you. I appreciate you, John. Thank you. Um, that was really nice. I if I look back when I used to be an illustrator in my past life, each painting took anywhere, depending on how complicated the painting was. Like the quickest I could do a painting, a book cover that is, not just like an educational article thing, would be 4 days. But the average was between 5 and 7 days of painting time. And so some days that would be 6 hours of painting time. Some days that would be 10 hours of painting time. Some days that would be 7 hours of painting time. So this drawing is just nothing. Like today, this is just 2 hours. And so, like, 4 hours is still nothing. Um, and so, like, 4 hours would be perfect for this. Oh my God. Yeah, I can do that all day long. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Maybe I'll just go a couple minutes longer. I know people just get a little tired of me at like 2 hours. Um, any questions before I call this one? And I should technically save the eyes. And maybe I'll come back and work on this one at a later date on YouTube. Oh yeah, I have two paintings hanging on the wall. I don't know if I want to go over and take them off the wall. Yeah, oil painting CN90. I've got two oil paintings on the wall. Um, I don't like, I look back at a lot of my oil paintings that I used to do. And again, what did I say earlier in the live stream, like 15 minutes ago? I said people go through phases, and who you were when you were 25 is not who you are when you're 45. You change, your tastes change, you're exposed to different things. And so I look back at some of my book covers that I thought were great, and I'm like, oh God, Jesus, I could have done A, B, and C. It's a little stiff. But yeah, I worked totally analog oil paint. No, no, like maybe one painting in 2008 or 2009 at the tail end of my illustration career did I do digitally, and it probably sucked, for sure, because I didn't have access to the brush that I use today digitally. So maybe the next live stream I will paint on top of this one. Oh wow, Poise! Thank you so much. That is Violet. Violet, I appreciate you. A coffee for a great tutorial. Wow, that was so kind of you. All right, let. Wow, that is so cool. I appreciate the both of you, John and Violet, for that. I think I'm going to stop this, and because it's been 2 hours, and I think you're probably going to get like a little bored with me if I go any more with this. But I don't hate it. It just needs more work. That's all. It just needs a little bit more work, and I kind of have to stop because I need to start preparing for my Zoom class for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com, because we are going to be painting on top of this, and I need to spray fix this. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. Although right now I'm into this drawing. Let me go see if I can't take painting off of the wall over there. It's okay. Give me a second, and then I'll share this painting with you, and then maybe we'll call this one done. All right, hold on. Oh, CN90. My God, thank you. That was so kind of you. Oh my God, that was awesome. Gonna have to give all of you shout outs. I'll take a picture of this drawing and I'll post it. And listen, CN90, Violet, and John, listen to me. Um, if you have requests for lessons, you need to either A, put them in the comments below of this video when the stream is done, or B, before the end of the stream, give me a suggestion of a tutorial that I could do here for you personally on YouTube. That would be cool. Right now, I'm just hooked on the portraits because the portraits are easy. YouTube hates nudity, and I can't really go with full figure drawing photo reference on YouTube. But yeah, all right. So this is for CN90, and I just took this off the wall. So let me just move my iPad because I'm done with this for now. Oh God, it's doing some weird thing. Okay, yeah, that's my photo reference on my iPad. Pretty good. Um, and I think I need to zoom out because this is a little bit of a bigger painting. Now, how big? I'm gonna be done soon. I promise y'all. How is anyone still actually watching? Yeah, thank you for watching, people. So how big is this? That's 3 inches. A little less. It's 2 7/8. And how tall is that? That's 3 3/4 from the chin to the top of the hair. Okay, that's pretty small. But that's my favorite size to work. And let's see, where is my remote control? I'm going to have to zoom out. Now, listen, people, listen, one other thing. I'm so sorry. I'm not all over the place. Everything here is relevant. So I go like that with my pencil. It's it's pretty straight up and down. But when I look at my drawing, this eye does feel a little higher. But on my screen, it feels the eyes feel level, if not this one lower. But it's good in real life. So you just got to trust me on that. Okie dokie. So this, I don't know when I did this. I don't know when I did this painting, but and it's framed and it's ginormous. And let me see. Yeah. So this would be an example of a painting that I did for a book cover. I don't remember the name of the book cover, but it was a long time ago. And yeah, so this is some of the work. I look at it now and it's very stiff, but so how big is this face? That head is like an inch and a half wide. That eye is a 16th of an inch. I couldn't do that anymore. Getting old sucks. Um, but yeah, I mean, these are examples of what I used to do. Now, let me see. I need to zoom back out and maybe I'll hold it up a different way. Whoops. Let me zoom in. This is just one example. When I look at this painting now, it's very stiff. Um, and let me do this. Okay, I'm gonna remove my drawing from the screen. Thank you, CN90. And I do have hundreds of paintings, no joke, hundreds. Um, some good, some not so good. And let me do this. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what this looks like. Um, so you kind of get an idea of some of the stuff that I used to do. It's behind glass, so there's like a little bit of a glare. And yeah, that was fun. That was a fun painting. So the top is where the title of the book goes. The bottom is where the author goes. And yeah, that was for the book Wintering by William Durbin. Yes. Awesome. And it was a hardcover book, I think, so I got paid pretty well for that because hardcover pays more than softcover. All right, YouTube. Listen, I this is long for me, 2 hours and 7 minutes. Okay, so Chon Gillespie, nice Italian name there. Um, my mom's from Italy. So what do I mean by stiff? Let me look at this painting one more time. Yeah, the character in the foreground, their face, their body, their hands, it feels very, very stiff. So um, he's kind of standing straight up and down. The way that I painted certain sections, there's like a lot of hard edges. And so I could give you my criteria for something that is not stiff. Okay, and so I'm going to point this way because I don't want to go back to my old screen because I don't have anything. So basically on a, and this is going to suck, I could never do this right. You need to have an area in your painting slash drawing that has a lost edge. That where I'm pointing is almost a lost edge. So you need to lose edges and have soft edges. And when you lose edges and the edges are softer, that takes the stiffness out of it. So like what is a hard edge is that side of the model's face. Now, if everything has a hard edge on it, it's going to be stiff. If you have a so this is what you need to write down. Gillespie, Chon Gillespie. Um, if you look at John Singer Sargent paintings, like every painting has a hard edge, but not the entire painting is hard edges. John Singer Sargent would have a hard edge. He would have a section of the painting that would have soft edges, and he would have sections of the painting that had absolutely no edges. That's called a lost edge. And when you lose an edge, that's when you relax your drawings and paintings, and they're not stiff. And there's rules for life drawing also how to not do a stiff piece. Gillespie, did that help you? Thank you, Frank. John, I do that almost every week in my perspective class. What I do is we draw environments from imagination. Yeah, absolutely. One, like I could do one right now because I've got it in my brain. It's a 2-point looking down at interior of an apartment, a really cool apartment looking out at this city in the background. Irish name Gillespie. Get the heck out of here. Are you serious? Oh God, that sounds like so Italian. I've got so many Irish friends, and none of them are Gillespie. So good. I'm learning today. I'm learning. Richard Schmidt. Okay, I don't know. Like if next week on YouTube live stream, I'm gonna do an interior, but it's edge variety in essence. Cheers, you got it. Okay. All right, everybody. That's a good idea to do, John. Interiors, man-made environments. I do that all the time in perspective. We just Irish. That is great. I love it. I love it. Cheers. Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. We will do an interior in digitally in 2-point looking down, maybe even 3-point looking up. There's a beautiful, beautiful. What's the movie? Klaus, the animated movie. That there's awesome backgrounds in that movie. Okay, people, listen. I just want to thank John, and I want to thank CN90, and I want to thank Violet for the wonderful contributions to the stream, the super chats. It was very, very kind of you. I will be back next Tuesday with another live stream. And again, so I like that suggestion of sketching an interior scene. I think that could be pretty cool. I also want to paint one of these for you, one of these drawings. I might do that next, is do a digital painting on top of one of these drawings. I've always wanted to do that on the live stream. So that's another idea. Portrait tutorial that focuses on expressions. Oh gosh. Um, I'm teaching that in 2 weeks in my class at the School of Visual Arts, facial expressions, and okay. You could go to my Instagram is basically Matthew Archambault Artwork and message me that way. You could go to my website in the link below in where the more is and just go to my website and click contact expressions. Okay. Um, okay. I think I'm cutting out people, so we're going to call this one done. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, people. I'll see you next week. I'm starting to get the spinning wheel. It's been well over 2 hours. I'll see you all next week. And thank you very much, everybody, for hanging with me today. And we'll talk soon, okay? Be good. Thank you, Helen. See you next week, people.